Have you ever stood in your kitchen, holding something in your hand, and realized you couldn't quite grip it the way you used to? Or maybe you felt a moment of hesitation before stepping into the shower thinking, I hope I don't slip today. These aren't signs of weakness, they're just signs of life. Life that's been lived deeply and fully. But even with all that experience, sometimes little things become bigger challenges. And that's okay. What matters isn't avoiding change. It's how we respond to it. Because independence doesn't mean doing everything the way we did at 25. It means being able to do the things that matter to us safely, confidently, and comfortably on our own terms. Now, if you're over 60, you've probably noticed that certain daily tasks take a bit more effort. That getting up from the couch takes more strategy than it used to. That finding the right light at night feels more important than ever. And yet many folks try to tough it out or feel embarrassed to ask for help. But here's a little secret. Using the right tools to stay independent isn't giving up, it's smart living. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 simple but powerful tools that can make a world of difference in your daily life. These aren't complicated gadgets or expensive machines. They're practical, affordable items that help you live more freely without having to depend on someone else for every little thing. Because the truth is, you deserve to feel capable in your own home. You deserve to feel in control. And these tools, they're not about limitation, they're about liberation. Let's start with something most people overlook until it's too late, the bathroom. It might not sound like a big deal, but for so many seniors, the bathroom becomes one of the riskiest rooms in the house. Wet floors, low toilets, slippery tubs, it's a perfect storm for falls. And unfortunately, a fall isn't always just a bruise or a bump. It can lead to long-term issues that affect your ability to stay in your home. One of the best tools you can have is a sturdy grab bar, especially in the shower or near the toilet. And I'm not talking about those flimsy suction cup ones you see in ads. I mean solid, screwed-in bars that can truly hold your weight if you lose balance. You might think, I'm fine, I haven't fallen yet. But that's the thing. Most people feel fine until they're not. Having a grab bar doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. I had a neighbor, Betty, who used to say she didn't need any of that old people stuff. Then one evening, she slipped in the tub and ended up with a fractured hip. After that, she had to move in with her daughter, which meant giving up her garden, her weekly bridge games, her independence. And the saddest part, it could have been avoided with a $40 grab bar and a little foresight. Now let's move into the kitchen. How many times have you struggled with jars lately? Or tried to open something and felt like your hands just didn't have the strength they once did? That's not just frustrating, it's a blow to your confidence. But a simple jar opener, one with a good grip and leverage, can make you feel like you've got your power back. I met a man last year, Roger, who joked that his wife used to open the jars for him, but after she passed, he had to call his neighbor just to open a peanut butter jar. He laughed about it, but I could tell it stung. After I gave him a strong-handled jar opener, he sent me a picture of himself holding it like it was a trophy. That tiny tool gave him back a piece of his dignity, and that's the point. These tools aren't about age. They're about control. Another tool many people don't think about is a reacher or grabber. If you've ever dropped the remote or had to fish something out from under the couch, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or maybe you've stretched just a little too far to get something off a shelf, only to feel a sharp twinge in your back or shoulder. That's your body saying, hey, I need some help here. A lightweight grabber tool saves your joints and helps you move smarter, not harder. You don't have to stop doing things, you just have to do them in ways that are kind to your body. Why strain when you don't have to? I remember one woman, Helen, who used to say she didn't want any silly grabber gadgets. But then she tried one for a week, and suddenly she was picking things up without groaning or calling her grandson. She said, it's not about being able to do it myself, it's about not hurting myself doing it. The real gift in all of this isn't just that these tools make life easier. It's that they keep you living the way you want to live. In your own space, on your own time. with the freedom to move about your day without waiting for help or feeling like a burden. That's the kind of independence we're after here, not just surviving but thriving. These first tools may seem small, but when used daily, they protect your most valuable asset: your ability to choose how you live, your comfort, your routine, your sense of self. Now that we've explored a few foundational tools that help with safety and daily strength, let's look at what helps with mobility and energy. The tools that keep you moving confidently through your home and beyond, because the truth is, independence isn't just about staying safe in one spot. It's about being able to move through your home, your day, and your life without hesitation or fear. And the next tool makes that possible in ways you might not even expect. Let's talk about a good, reliable walker with wheels, or as some folks call it, a rollator. Now I know what you might be thinking. Walkers are for people who are really frail. I'm not there yet, but here's something worth considering. Using a walker doesn't mean you're giving up, it means you're planning ahead. I once met a gentleman at a local senior center who brought his rollator not because he needed it every step, but because it gave him options. If he felt a little off balance, he had the support. If he got tired, he had the built-in seat to rest. And when he walked into the room standing tall, folks saw confidence, not weakness. He said the walker didn't slow him down. It gave him permission to keep going. When we lose confidence in our balance, we start limiting ourselves. We avoid the grocery store. We skip out on walks with friends. Before we know it, our world gets smaller. But the right mobility tool can help you expand your world again. So if you ever catch yourself holding onto furniture while you move around the house or avoiding curbs because they seem tricky, that's your sign. It's time for a little extra help. And there's nothing shameful about that. Another incredibly helpful tool for seniors living independently is a voice-activated assistant like Amazon Echo or Google Home. I know technology can feel intimidating, especially if you didn't grow up with it. But hear me out. These little devices can make a big difference in your everyday life, and you don't need to be a computer whiz to use one. Imagine being able to say, "What's the weather today?" without fiddling with a remote. Or asking, "Remind me to take my medication at 8 p.m. and knowing that your assistant will gently chime in right on time. You can even say, "Call my daughter," and have the call made for you without touching a button. One woman I know, Linda, 68, told me that after her knee surgery, she couldn't move around much, and using her Echo to turn on the lights and play her favorite music made her feel less alone. She even started asking it to tell her jokes just to lighten her mood. It became a part of her routine, like an invisible helper she didn't have to bother. These devices can also serve as safety nets. You can set alerts, get reminders, or even use them to call for help. And once you try it, you'll see it's not about keeping up with technology, it's about letting technology keep up with you. Now let's shift to a place we often forget about when we talk about independence: the feet. More specifically, the right pair of non-slip shoes. I'm not talking about orthopedic clunkers that feel like they belong in a hospital. These days, there are stylish, supportive, and safe shoes designed specifically for older adults. Shoes that help prevent slips and give you a strong foundation with every step. The reason this matters so much is simple. Most falls happen because of footwear, slippers that slide, shoes that don't grip, or walking barefoot on slick floors. And one fall can change everything. A twisted ankle, a broken wrist, or worse, a fracture that sends you to rehab for months. But a sturdy, well-designed pair of shoes with good traction, that's your first defense. I had a viewer once message me and say, "I never thought shoes mattered much. But ever since I started wearing those slip-resistant ones you mentioned, I feel like I walk differently, more sure, more stable." It's a small change, but it has a huge impact. It's the same with all these tools. On their own, they might seem simple, but together they support something much bigger: your ability to keep living the life you love your way. Independence after 60, 70, 80, it's not about doing everything the hard way. It's about making life easier so you have more energy for what matters. Time with friends, your hobbies, your morning walk, your peace of mind. You're not trying to become someone you used to be. You're building a life that supports who you are now with all your wisdom, your experience, your routines, and your needs. These tools aren't there to remind you of aging. They're there to support you through it so you can age with grace, strength, and confidence. And if you're still unsure about whether you need some of these things, I'll leave you with this thought. Imagine your future self 5 or 10 years down the road. Would that version of you be thankful you took steps now to stay mobile, safe, and independent? Because chances are the answer is yes. These aren't just tools for seniors. They're tools for smart living, for living with less stress, fewer risks, and more joy. And now that we've looked at how your environment can support your freedom, let's talk about the last tools. Ones that help you manage the little details of everyday life while keeping your dignity, routine, and peace of mind intact, because the little details of our day, those things we might have once done without thinking, can become surprisingly overwhelming if we don't have the right support. And when they pile up, they chip away at our independence, one tiny stress at a time. But with a few smart tools, even those little things can stay easy, smooth, and under control. Let's talk about something simple, but so often overlooked: a weekly pill organizer with a reminder system. Now, I'm not talking about those old-fashioned plastic boxes that you forget to open half the time. I mean a solid, easy-to-use organizer that actually helps you remember your medication and reminds you gently, whether it's through a chime, a light, or a vibrating signal. These organizers are a quiet revolution for anyone managing multiple medications. When you take medications daily, forgetting just one dose can affect your mood, your balance, or even your blood pressure. And relying on memory or scribbled notes on the fridge just isn't enough anymore. That's where a smart pill organizer steps in. It doesn't judge you, it doesn't nag you. It just helps you stay on top of something that's essential to your health and your independence. I remember my friend George, 72, who used to keep his pills in a shoebox. He thought it worked until the day he accidentally took his nighttime meds in the morning and fell asleep at his breakfast table. After that, he got a simple beeping organizer that reminded him at just the right times. No more confusion, no more risk, just peace of mind and better control over his day. And that brings us to the final tool, a tool not made of plastic or metal or wires. It's something you keep in your home, but also in your heart. It's a personal emergency response system, and I can't emphasize enough how vital this can be for seniors who live alone, or even with a partner who may not always be nearby. These wearable emergency buttons, some come as pendants, others as wristbands, can call for help at the press of a button. Some newer versions even detect if you fall and call automatically. They connect to emergency services, to family members, or to a neighbor. And having one doesn't mean you expect to fall or have an emergency. It means you're wise enough to plan for the just in case. I once spoke to a woman, Ruth, who was in her 80s and lived alone after her husband passed. She was sharp, funny, and independent, but one night she tripped on a rug and couldn't reach the phone. That night she told me she felt more alone than ever. After that, she got a pendant. She told me I may never need to press it, but knowing I can changes how I sleep at night. And that's what this all comes down to. It's not about fear, it's about freedom. It's about knowing that even if life throws a curveball, you have something in place to catch it. That kind of security, that kind of preparation, isn't a sign of weakness. It's a declaration of strength. Every tool we've talked about today is about giving you back something precious. Your balance, your energy, your choices, your voice. These tools aren't flashy, they won't win awards. But they will do something far more important. They'll help you stay in control of your life. And maybe even more importantly, they'll help you feel proud. Because there's nothing small about asking for help when you need it, or investing in tools that support your well-being. In fact, I'd argue it's one of the strongest, most loving things you can do for yourself, and for those who care about you. Think about the people who love you. Your children, your grandkids, your siblings, your old friends. They want to see you thriving. They want to know you're safe, comfortable, and enjoying your independence, not just getting by, but truly living. And when you take steps like this, when you prepare and protect yourself, it brings peace to everyone who loves you. I know that getting older isn't always easy. Your body changes, your energy shifts, you have to adapt. But adaptation isn't giving in, it's growing forward. And tools like these help you grow with strength, dignity, and confidence. Maybe you don't need all 6 tools right now. Maybe you only need 1 or 2, but starting small still moves you forward. 1 new habit, 1 helpful device, 1 moment of choosing comfort and safety over struggle. That's how independence lasts. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. Thousands, even millions of seniors across the country are looking for the same thing: to live well, to live free, and to live proud. When you make these small changes, you become part of that movement, a movement of strength, of resilience, of joy in the golden years. So take a moment today and think about your home, your routines. What feels easy and what feels hard? And then ask yourself, what would make this easier? What would make me feel stronger, safer, or just a little more free? Chances are one of the tools we talked about today might be just the thing you've been needing. If this video gave you an idea or made you feel more confident about your future, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments, whether it's a tool you use, a habit you swear by, or a tip that's helped you live independently. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. We share helpful, hopeful content for seniors just like you every week, because you deserve to feel supported and inspired. Remember, aging isn't about losing control. It's about learning new ways to keep it. And with the right tools, your best years can still be ahead of you. Here's to living your most independent, joyful, and confident life, one smart step at a time. Well, you've earned it.